Welcome on the News Belt. Let's get into our first story now. And government's internal audit agency has identified a cabal siphoning millions of cedis monthly from the public payroll under a dubious scheme that involves internal and external collaborators. Head of the agency, Dr. Eric Odrosai, says the group is behind undeserved claimants on the payroll and other fraudulent means to make money from the state. The Fair Wages and Salaries Commission began a program to clean the roll and ensure that only legitimate employees were on it. Dr. Osai tells Joy News those behind the scheme will be unmasked.
The implication is that government contribution to SNIT will be on the increase. In SNIT's own books, they may think that government owes them. But when you do the audit well, you realize the government does not owe them after all, or the amount should be lower. There are also instances where SNIT pensions increases unnecessarily because persons who are supposed to be on retirement they will still be in active service. So you get SNIT paying their pension and central government also paying their salary. There are instances where people have made themselves car contractors. They give out car documents for people to use to access car maintenance allowance. Once they get their names on the payroll, they send the document back, and that is it. We are going after all such people. Please, if the vehicle does not belong to you, make sure you don't bring it for car maintenance allowance. DVLA will be working with DVLA for continual justification of ownership of vehicles to enable you get government car maintenance allowance. These are some of the issues in the system. And I think that if all of us, we work hand in hand to clean up the system, government compensation budget will be to come to the barest minimum, and probably going into the future, there will be no need for us to go to IMF because we will make a lot of savings on the government compensation budget and free some resources for other development projects.
Well, Chief Executive of the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission, Dr. Ben Arthur, says the exercise will sanitize the public sector payroll and identify the lapses and inequalities in the benefits and allowances of public sector workers.
There's cooperation. Everybody who has read our law and knows what we do definitely knows that we have the mandate. Maybe those who initially said they didn't have the mandate have revised their notes. So possibly the tape you played is an old one. It's an old one because under Section 3B of our Act mandates us to do so. Of course, even ordinarily, in the natural, you are not able to simply go and say that you have fixed you have determined benefits, allowances, you've developed salary structures, and therefore we are not interested in how it's being operationalized. So we are able to do that. Mm-hmm. Of course, yesterday the first point of call was with the internal audit agency. We signed an MOU with them for us to collaborate and do this jointly. But of course, it was needful that we also, go through their books to ensure that they are also having a very clean sheet. Other than that, that would be very problematic also joining us. Of course, we have also...
And so you can say, Mr. Arthur, that of all the agencies, at least the first agency, which is the Internal Audit Agency, has been cleared of all fraudulent activities. Is that the case?
Definitely. But the detailed findings, we cannot put it in the public domain.
Well, you can't tell me what you found so far, but Mr. Arthur, are you able to tell me what exactly you are looking for then?
In fact, this exercise is a type of exercise that when you come across some anomalies, some of them might be genuine errors that you have to correct. Some of them might be misunderstandings of some of the conditions we are determining how it's even being interpreted. So those ones will even assist management to overcome some of these issues. But in general, we had done this on a pilot basis before even coming this far. We couldn't just wake up and say that we are going to do a nationwide payroll monitoring. We couldn't have done that. So we've done this, bit and piece, gather some information. We have a very clear idea as to what we're looking for and what we're going out there to do. Okay. But essentially, it's to ensure equity and to ensure that we have a very decent payroll. Those who are working for what they are earning must earn it. And those who are not doing the work but are paid. Possibly there might be ghost workers. Why should the one who is working be paid and the one who is also not even supposed to be an employee be paid equally? That one must be cleared. Apart from that, you found some cases elsewhere where somebody is misplaced on the structure. If the person is deserving of, let's say, level 22, it's possible the person is placed at 19. You must ensure that the appropriate level is given to the individual.
Now, in our next story, residents of Teshie Mobile are blaming a stalled road construction work for their predicament during the rainy season. Gutters dug prior to the road construction were removed but never replaced, causing residents in the neighborhood sleepless nights when it rains. There is more in this report put together by Jacqueline and Soma Yeboah.
Currently, I am at a suburb in Teshie, popularly known as Mobile. Now, residents here are faced with challenges such as flooding anytime it rains.
The problem is that the flood, because of the gutter, is not too large. There are small gutters. When the rain fall, they very hard the rain to overflow in the gutter. That is causing all this problem for here, making fraud in all this. That down there, if you go down, you see the problem. The fraud for all the people, their rooms, everything. Because of they are putting the doors in, dustbin in the boiler in this thing, gutter.
Too much flooded. Because of the contractor, he do the road. They do it and they reach here and they stop around here. So when the waters come out, it's too much flooded here. They destroyed the gutter. Now you see the gutter is choked.
So initially there was a gutter here but it has been destroyed.
Yes, there is a gutter here. And their cars is passing and it broke the gutters. They do it here, they reach here and they stop. They live in front of us. When it is raining, the rain come into our store and all over here. So we can't do anything here.
So the rains this morning, when it rained, it came into your shop?
Yes. So we find some shovel and we take it out all the small sands before it's get a little bit chance so that to go.
So when did this issue start? How long has it been?
When they started construct the road.
When was that? Around what time?
Oh, last year. Last year it keeps wrong. They know. We asked them they should help us to do this little one. They thought we should go and see the government before they can do it because their money is finished. So they left it.
Anytime it rains, we suffer because the stalled road construction has caused blockage in the gutters. My children and I had to scoop out water from the shop this morning after it rained. You can see that the water that entered the shop has spoiled some of my goods. It's the same for those who stay by the roadside. Those in cars cannot alight and get proper place to stand. There are times when it rains heavily and children cannot walk through the water. They have to be carried. I'm pleading that the road be fixed, or else it will be disastrous during a heavy downpour. The vendors and those who stay by the roads are really suffering. Since they halted the construction on the roads, no one has been here to observe how the situation is like when it rains.
Nsuoni na no kese de do how pa na beba Teshie ha use nsuo to aye branka sa ye wo kwan ho ye bre pa feed December na omo stop hoyin omo ma kwan ne ho biem so
bibia nkyere se kwan no mo beto aso
na so omo beto aso ye ho hwe bibia nkyere se feed December na omo stop kwan no bia ma ha se obeye kwan ana obehwe da nsuo to a ete wa ha.
Just as you heard from the residents of Teshie Mobile, now, anytime it rains, they find it very difficult. With these narrow gutters in here, the drainage system is very poor, limiting productivity, and drivers are finding it difficult to navigate. Jacqueline and Soma Yeboah reporting for Joy News.
Well, from there, let's head into the Ashanti region, where caterers and the government school feeding program in the Ashanti region have failed to serve pupils after the reopening of basic schools. The caterers are demanding an increase in the feeding grant and the payment of arrears for food served in schools in the third term of the previous academic year. Love FM's Nanabwachi Adam visited some schools and reports caterers were absent from work.
Caterers under the school feeding program in the Ashanti region on Monday protested the unpaid arrears for the third term in the previous academic year. They also prevailed on the government to increase the feeding grant from 97 pesos to 3 cedis per child. The caterers subsequently petitioned the regional minister Simon Osei-Mensah. Cooking facilities in the public schools visited by Love News on Tuesday remained shut. Pupils of State Boys and State Girls MA Basic School, Mamponting Basic School and Marseille Basic School were not served their usual meals. Madam Regina Osei Santua, a teacher at the State MA Basic School, says the situation is worrying.
For us here, our children, their problem is most of them come to school without money. So when they come after 10 a.m., you see that most of them will start sleeping. Some of them will be feeling weak. When you ask them, they say they are hungry. So the feeding helps them a lot. And we, the teachers, it helps us to teach them well, because if a child is hungry, she or he will not concentrate on whatever you are doing. So it helps them in that way. So what I would say is, we will plead with the government to continue feeding the children for us.
Madam Ajaram, a matron at the State MA Basic School, says the situation has left students perturbed.
If you are to a was a man, if I don't soldier, a come dear. Now I SMP.
Sometimes the kids come around to ask for food, but we have nothing because our salary doesn't come. Our debtors have also refused to give us anything on loan. We plead with the government to help us.
For Joy News, Nana Boachi Dankwe Yadom reporting.
Leslie, in the Ashanti region, where Divine Mission Academy has eliminated Hansi Gold Community School and the Amazing Grace School to qualify to the finals of the Love FM Primary Schools quiz. After a solid display of brilliance and fierce competition, Divine Mission won the contest over the two with 47 points. Here's another report by Nana Boachi Yadom.
Sacrilegious. SACRILEGIOUS, sacrilegious.
And that is correct for 3 points.
The third contest of the semi-finals of the Love FM Primary School quiz has been fierce. Contestants of the 3 participating schools thrilled the audience with a traffic battle of wits. At the end of the contest, Divine Mission Academy came first after beating last year's finalists, Hansi Gold Community School and Amazing Grace School. The contestants of Divine Mission Academy are optimistic of victory in the grand finale.
The strategy was that we depended on God, we prayed on God, and we studied hard on all the assignments that they gave us.
So going forward, that is the final stage. You are the first school qualifying. What are we to expect from you in the final stage of the quiz?
We are going to win. This time we are going to take the trophy from Mana International School.
It was a tough contest, to be very honest. Some of the questions were jaw-dropping, but we prepared our kids. And as the saying goes, teamwork makes the dream work. And as in the famous words of my school director, hard work pays. And so we worked hard, we've put in the work, we've done everything, we prepared fully for this contest. No matter how it challenged us, we came out at the top as winners.
Meanwhile, Hansi Gold Community School and Amazing Grace School are not relenting in coming out strong next year.
Next year, we are coming to come back with a lot of armor. This time, we're just coming to try it for the second time, but our armors were not tough like that. So next year, when we are coming, we are bringing a lot of armor.
Every level of this competition gives you another opportunity to learn. And today was really tough. Today, the dimension the question went, we were really struggling. So this paves another way for us to study. It opens our eyes to a lot of things to study. We have a lot to study.
So what will be your preparation going forward?
Obviously, we came this very contest with the mentality to win. Unfortunately, it didn't go our way.
we will go back to the drawing board and then do one or two things, correct one or two mistakes, and then come back next year stronger.
So this is the Divine Mission Academy School. They have won the semi-final contest 1 of the Love FM Primary School Quiz. They proceed to the final stage of the contest. Will they win the 4th edition of the Love FM Primary School Quiz? For Joy News, my name is Nana Boachidankwa.
Well, we cap off the news on the political front as we head to the Upper West region, where daughter of former Inspector General of Police Jennifer Namfui says her track record will ensure her victory in the Drapa NDC parliamentary primary. She is the only female out of 30 aspirants that have filed to contest the NDC primaries in the Upper West region. Rafiq Salam now reports.
Cletu Sedu Dapala came into the venue of the veteran, bumped into and accompanied by maids of polling station and constituency executives and supporters who he claimed not aware of. They were there because of love and the numerous projects he has executed in their various constituencies.
My people believe so much in me, and they think that I shouldn't come here alone. That is why you see them. They voluntarily came from Jirapa to support me. I arrived from Accra last night, so I didn't even step foot in Jirapa. In fact, I was trying to hide, just to sneak in and do my vetting and move away. Little did I know that they were also mobilizing their numbers to come and support me. So that's why they are here.
He recounted, in brief, some projects undertaken in his 2-year stint in Parliament.
I give some support to students, brilliant but needy students, to pay their fees. And I think I did over 300 of them. I've been able to support over 300 of them. The minimum amount I've given to any student is 1,000 cedis. Some 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, depending on the amount that the student is supposed to pay. So that's one of the areas that I do so much in. In terms of health, I've been able to do a clinic at Bazoo, support motorbikes for the district health administration and all of that. Even still in education, I supported with textbooks. I donated over 6,000 textbooks to primary and junior high schools, furniture and all of that. So I'm doing a lot. And in terms of social intervention, my people can testify that I have been in touch with them. I've been supporting.
Cletu Sedu Dapala came into the political limelight when he became the Jiriba Constituency Secretary of the National Democratic Congress, NDC, and later District Chief Executive for then Jiriba District. He is of the firm belief that the delegates of the party will vote on May 13 to retain him as the party's parliamentary candidate in the constituency.
Honestly, I've been in this game for some time. You know me very well, and you know that I've started my politics from far. I've been secretary, constituency secretary, I've been district chief executive. God willing, I'm the member of parliament. I shouldn't be afraid of a contest. I have always cherished a contest. It is the only way that we can entrench our democracy.
Standing in between that second-term victory in the parliamentary primary is the daughter of former Inspector General of the Ghana Police Service and late Paramount Chief of the Jiriba traditional area, Peter Tegenaban Namfui. Jennifer Tegenaban Namfui identifies some loopholes in the party.
I know that the roles that women play in politics is very vital. You take your mother, for instance, for example, there's nothing that your mother can get done for you. Women are more soft-hearted, they listen, and they pay attention and make sure that needs are met to their people. So therefore, I have decided to get into this race for Drapa constituency. There are a lot of loops, holes happening there. And I think that me being part of this race will bring some changes.
Jennifer Namfui is the only female among the 30 aspirants that has filed to contest for the parliamentary primaries in the Upper West region. The information technology expert says she's not in the race for sympathy votes because of her late father, but has on her own worked for the party and deserved a resounding victory.
When you talk about NDC in Upper West, you cannot talk about NDC without mentioning my late father's name. Okay, you take Upper West, you take Jirapa specifically. He has played various roles. So I have played roles in the party. So it's not because of sympathy. I started doing this 2 years ago. I started playing, coming home, talking to delegates, talking to the people to understand what their needs are. So it's not that I just woke up, immediately my father died, I said I'm jumping into the race. No, this is a long-term thing that I started before this happened.
The third name that will be on the ballot paper on May 13th will be Bright Salia, who is contesting for the first time in the parliamentary primary. Reporting for Joy News, Rafik Salam. Wow.
It's a wrap for the news. We're grateful that you stayed, but stay a bit further because up next, Dr. Kwame Asante joins us for the news review.